So where do you see all this going? I mean, you've got the album out now, and you're on tour with that album. Presumably after that you'll want some kind of a rest, but then you've got to start writing again.
Yeah, I mean, there's still so much to do. I mean, I've got my new single Run, which is out on the 3rd of March, but then there's one more single in the UK from this album, so I've got a lot of promo still to do with that, and then there's another massive UK tour in May. This tour finishes at the end of February, but it'll be followed by a big European tour in March, and then all the festivals in the summer, and then we've not even went out to America yet, so I think we're going out there in April. So I think I've still got a long way to go with this album before I get a hint of a break or a second album.
And you mentioned a lot of travelling. Is travelling something you like doing? I mean, do you get to see anywhere when you're travelling?
I mean, the thing is, I used to love going on planes, but now I hate it. I'm on them so often. But the good thing is I've earned enough air miles to go to Australia and back for free. So that's only a good thing. But I mean, you don't get to see anything. That's my one massive complaint about everything, is that it would be better if there was a little bit more time here and there, because I can say that I've been to so many amazing cities, but I've seen a hotel and an airport, and they pretty much look the same no matter where you are in the world.
You might as well stay
exactly.
At home. What about your friends? Your friends at home. How have they reacted to you? Being maybe musician friends who have a band that haven't had the success that you've had. Has that been difficult, or?
There was one group of people that I was really good friends with, and I tried to help them out, and then when I had my album out and it done well, they suddenly really resented me for it, which was really hard, because you think I'm your friends and I tried to help you out, and you just really are so ungrateful, and then just completely resented me and completely hate my guts now for no other reason than that I've been successful and done well for myself. And you think, well, if you're going to act like that, then you probably weren't a good friend in the first place. But my proper friends, the ones that I've had since day one, are always there for me and really supportive, and they'll be the same friends I have till the day I die.
And how have your parents reacted to it?
Mum and Dad are really supportive of everything I do. I mean, if I turned around tomorrow and said I don't want to do this anymore, they'd be supportive. But I'm loving it right now, and they're always behind me and really great.
I tell you what's great about you as well, that a lot of people in your position, I don't know whether it's they go off the rails or whether they upset the papers somehow, but they're often photographed, in awful positions, falling out of nightclubs. There's all sort of problems, and you don't seem to have any of that.
I think you have to want it, to be honest. I think you have to want that media attention, and you have to know what you're doing and be a bit savvy. But for me, I've always maintained that I don't give a toss about any of that rubbish, and for me it's always been about music. I don't want my face plastered over papers, and I have no desire to be famous, and for me I've always kept it about music, and luckily enough, having that stance has meant that I've been able to have an extremely successful album but still being relatively anonymous with it, and that's perfect for me.
And has your life changed much? I mean, that's a stupid question. I'm sure it's changed a lot, but in terms of actually being able to go and do day-to-day things,
not at all. I mean, in terms of workload and what I do with myself, it's changed, but when I go home, I still go to Tesco and buy my toilet roll without anybody coming and annoying me or anything. So my life, I mean, there's times obviously when people will come up and talk to you, but it's never a hindrance, and it doesn't happen often enough to annoy me.
Because your career took off when it did, I suppose sites like MySpace and the social networking has helped push your name as well.
I don't think it has, if I'm honest. I mean, I think it's a good tool for a musician to be able to keep in touch with fans and kind of see what's going on from the other side, but it was a lot more natural with me. There was never the massive hype on MySpace or any of the internet sites, and we never really campaigned it in that way, which for me is quite a cool thing to say, because everyone seems to be doing it that way these days, and it's good that we done it the more natural way. I sent a demo in, and here it is, and that's pretty much the way that it's been marketed.
And do you have a plan now? I mean, I suppose what I'm saying is your career sort of still in your own hands? Are you able to...
I think the day that it wasn't in my own hands, I would give up. I'd never like to be ruled by somebody else, and I think that if you have a voice, then use it, and don't feel that you have to be pushed into a corner by anybody because you don't. And I think that it would be a terrible existence if you were constantly getting told what to do and never voicing your own opinion or concerns. So I'm still totally in my own hands.
Now, when you were growing up, I read that it was the Bluebells who, the singers of the Young at Heart. Did they help with that?
I mean, that's been taken out of context a bit. What it was that I, when I was at school, a company called Impact Arts came and just done some work with some musical people at the school. I mean, and they came a few times, and the guy that was there for guitar and songwriting was Ken McCluskey of the Bluebells. He was a great guy. I mean, they got me a lot of gigs and things like that, but I never wrote any songs with them or anything like that.
And if we're setting the record straight as well, I mean, you know, there's a lot written on Wikipedia about people like you. Do you ever look at your own Wikipedia page? That's just nonsense. Take that off.
I've done a couple of times and looked at it and thought, what the hell? I mean, I remember the first time I looked at it, the first line, my birthday was wrong, and I thought, I'm not even going to read this. If they get something so simple as my birthday wrong, then the rest of it must just be rubbish.
Because it's been reported on there as well that you were critical of X Factor.
I was critical of it, yeah, and I'm still completely stand by that. And I just think that there's better ways for people to get recognised nowadays. I think things like X Factor have ran their course.
Do you think that programmes like that are really pandering more to people's desire to be famous rather than have real talent?
I think it is. I think it's more the fame thing. And the thing is, the shows are just horrendous. I mean, you watch it and you just watch people like getting their heart broken by people like Simon Cowell, who on national TV in front of 10 million people tells you that you're rubbish, and that's these people's dreams, and you just think, why would you do that to yourself? I don't know why anybody would want to put themselves in that horrible position. I don't think that you could want anything as much to be berated on live TV night after night. I think it's just a horrible thing, and it's people don't complain about it as much because, I mean, to see people crying their eyes out and getting told they're terrible, it's not nice, and it's just the really ghoulish side of human nature that you like to watch somebody else kind of fail. I mean, it's hideous.
That seems to be where our media is heading, though, at the moment. So what would you say to someone, 12, 13, 14, like you, that has a dream of being a success in music? What would you say?
I think if it's a dream of being a success in music, then keep at it and do your best and just write songs and play gigs and hopefully the best will come. I think if it's a dream of being famous, then music probably isn't the best route to go around, because there's so many amazing artists right now who are just about music and they don't care about the fame. So I think if you're just kind of fame hungry, then maybe just go in Big Brother or something like that.
Amy MacDonald, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with the gig tonight.
Thank you.